talk is, and it's only talk, I claim particular insight, that a major hydrogen plant in Tasmania would want a power price of somewhere between $20 and $40 a megawatt hour. That may include an element of explicit subsidy from the federal or state government rather than buying power gross hydro at, say, 2040. But assuming that we had the power available, and that's an important question, is it sensible to do that, even allowing that it might create some jobs, rather than, for example, sell that power at over $100 a megawatt hour over a cable, if the cable is working, or if we get Marinus, up to sell it for over $100 a megawatt hour to mainland consumers, and then that makes lots of money for Hydro Tasmania and TasNetworks, which could in turn be used in ways to provide better services
hospital
to
schools,
or to lower taxes. And the other thing to remember about some of these claims about the amount of jobs involved is that there might well be a lot of jobs in the construction phase, right? But as I understand it, the number of jobs that might be permanent jobs might be associated with a hydrogen plant is, of the order of 20. And these things are in some ways like the LNG plants that were built in Queensland and Western Australia. As a caricature, the employment profile of an LNG plant is almost a man and a dog. The man's job being to feed the dog, and the dog's job being to stop the man fiddling with all the expensive equipment that has been built by 3,000 beforehand. Mm-hmm. That's in some ways.
I literally watched that happen at one point in
right.
Darwin in the Northern Territory.
Right.
Enormous confidence years that the project was being built, and then literally a collapse for
That's
Darwin.
Right.
Now it was built around a couple of other things, but the end of the Wickham Point gas project was a significant contributor to a whole range of complications that the territory still lives in.
And then, so there's that question as to whether or not there really are long-term employment gains. And then, there's also the issue of if we don't have sufficient on-island generating capacity to meet another major industrial load like that, but we nonetheless commit to it, well, how do we meet that? Well, the answers are presumably we would either have to run the Tamar Valley power station, which is gas-fired, or import coal-fired electricity from the mainland. What does that do to our aim of being 100% renewable, let alone our target of being 200% renewable?
Saul